Yes, the story of the curse of Ham in the book of Genesis has been the subject of varied interpretations over the centuries. The text itself doesn't explicitly mention race or skin color as factors in the curse. Instead, it describes Ham seeing the nakedness of his father Noah, leading to a curse placed on Ham's son Canaan. The interpretations linking this narrative to explanations for black skin or justifications for slavery have been used in certain historical contexts, particularly to rationalize discriminatory practices. These interpretations, however, aren't universally accepted among religious scholars or adherents. Many argue against these interpretations, pointing out that the biblical text doesn't make explicit connections between Ham's actions, the curse on Canaan, and race or skin color. Religious groups and scholars often stress the importance of contextual understanding, linguistic analysis, and broader biblical interpretation when discussing such sensitive passages, seeking to avoid misinterpretations that could perpetuate harmful ideologies or discrimination. Overall, interpretations of religious texts like this one can vary widely, and perspectives have evolved over time within different religious communities. Absolutely, the interpretation and understanding of this biblical narrative indeed involve numerous complexities and challenges. The story in Genesis presents several ambiguities and unresolved questions, leading to various interpretations among scholars and religious commentators. The precise nature of Ham's offense remains uncertain, leading to debates about its literal meaning or as a euphemism for a different transgression. The references to Shem, Japheth, and Canaan, their relationships, and the blessings and curses they receive pose further challenges in interpretation. Additionally, the narrative's brevity contrasts with its apparent significance in setting the stage for the Israelite-Canaanite dynamic, providing a rationale for the dispossession of the Canaanites and the transfer of land to the descendants of Abraham. This passage, like many others in religious texts, contains layers of historical, cultural, and theological significance that continue to be debated and explored by scholars and religious communities. The complexities within the narrative invite multiple interpretations and perspectives, contributing to ongoing discussions within the realms of biblical studies and theology. The interpretations surrounding the nature of Ham's offense in the story of Noah's curse are indeed diverse, and at times quite intricate. Throughout history, various scholars and commentators have proposed different explanations for the nature of Ham's transgression. These interpretations range from the act of voyeurism to suggestions of castration, incest, both paternal and maternal, and even disrespecting a religious festival. The biblical text in Genesis 9:22-25 doesn't explicitly detail the offense committed by Ham against his father Noah. It states that Ham saw his father's nakedness, but the exact nature of this act remains open to interpretation. Some commentators argue for a literal interpretation of seeing nakedness, while others suggest it implies a more serious transgression, such as sexual impropriety or disrespectful behavior. Interpretations vary significantly among scholars and religious traditions. Ancient commentaries, such as the Targum Onkelos, and later medieval commentators like Rashi, proposed different theories ranging from Ham gossiping or mocking his father's disgrace to more extreme suggestions like castration or incestuous acts. Modern scholars, too, have offered diverse interpretations, including the theory of Ham engaging in intercourse with his mother, Noah's wife, which would lead to Canaan being the offspring of an illicit union between Ham and his mother, thus accounting for the curse falling upon Canaan rather than Ham himself. These diverse interpretations highlight the complexity and ambiguity within the biblical text, leaving room for various understandings and discussions among scholars and religious communities throughout history. The multiple interpretations reflect the richness of interpretation and the ongoing exploration of biblical narratives within different cultural and historical contexts. The story of Noah's curse upon Canaan, as detailed in various ancient texts and interpretations, reveals a wide range of perspectives and explanations regarding the event. Throughout different religious texts, commentaries, and historical accounts, several theories have been proposed to elucidate the nature of the curse and its implications for Ham's descendants, specifically Canaan. In some interpretations, there's an emphasis on Ham's involvement in the incident, suggesting various transgressions such as voyeurism, castration, paternal incest, or disrespecting a religious festival. The curse, directed at Canaan by Noah, is seen as a consequence of Ham's actions, often involving the disregard for a familial or divine order. The interpretations vary widely among scholars and religious traditions. Some suggest that because Ham had already been blessed by God in Genesis 9:1, Noah's curse could not directly affect him. Hence, the curse might have been directed at Ham's son, Canaan. Similarly, the Book of Jubilees provides additional context, explaining that Canaan violated an agreement among Noah's sons regarding land allocation, thus bringing upon himself a curse for his disobedience. Classical Jewish interpretations, such as those of Philo of Alexandria and Rashi, offer their own perspectives. They depict varying reasons for the curse, including Canaan's involvement in the incident or acts of disrespect towards Noah. These interpretations not only delve into the specifics of the curse, but also provide insights into the societal and legal implications in some cases, outlining the status and rights of Canaanites or non-Jews in Jewish law. The diversity of interpretations across these texts demonstrates the complex nature of biblical narratives and their subsequent analyses. These interpretations also highlight the historical, cultural, and religious context in which these stories were understood and passed down through generations. The misuse and misinterpretation of the biblical story of the curse of Ham have had significant historical repercussions, particularly in attempts to justify slavery and racial discrimination against black people. Despite objections from figures like Martin Luther King Jr., this narrative was twisted to support ideologies that perpetuated oppression and inequality. During periods of slavery and colonialism, the curse of Ham was manipulated to provide a supposed religious justification for the subjugation of black individuals. It was utilized to create a false notion of racial hierarchy, suggesting that certain races were inherently inferior or destined for servitude based on their perceived lineage from Ham. This distorted interpretation allowed pro-slavery advocates and colonialists to distort Christian teachings to fit their own exploitative agendas. The narrative's vagueness in Genesis 9 allowed for misinterpretation, leading to what historians have termed a curse matrix. This matrix was a tool for racialists to legitimize their actions against black individuals, whether through slavery or discrimination. It enabled them to create a false narrative that undermined the idea of a shared human race, instead dividing people into supposed hierarchical groups based on the sons of Noah. These misinterpretations clashed with Christian teachings that uphold the equality of all humans as descendants of Adam. However, proponents of these ideologies, such as Benjamin Morgan Palmer and other intellectuals in the South, propagated the belief that different races were tied to different sons of Noah, with Europeans being linked to Japheth and Africans to the cursed Ham, justifying the exploitation of the latter based on this false lineage-based hierarchy. This distortion of biblical narrative and theological interpretation served as a tool to perpetuate discrimination and oppression against black individuals, contravening the principles of equality and human dignity upheld in Christian teachings and moral principles.
If you found this video enjoyable, please consider liking and sharing it. Additionally, subscribing to this channel will ensure that you receive more updates in the future. Thank you.